Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for actually a first episode in my Airplanes Sunday series. Yeah, I will try to do more airplane videos this year. Yeah, could have been a little more last year, I think. I had a few people mention that, or should I say complain. Yeah. There are far more new quadcopters being released than interesting planes. That's basically the cause of that. But again, I'll try to do more airplane videos this year, and I'll also try to do those every Sunday, weather permitting, of course. Now, in this first one, I will show you the Dynam Primo, which is a 1450mm wingspan high wing trainer, bush plane, STOL plane. Let's see, yeah, I got this from Banggood, and I'll have a link in the description for you, of course, so you can check it out. In this video I'll show you what all the parts look like and what the plane looks like when it's finished. I'll do a separate video on how to build or assemble this plane. Mostly for new pilots, of course. If you are an experienced pilot, you will have no trouble assembling this plane. But yeah, a build video which will contain some build tips to improve the reliability of the plane. And that will be coming up shortly as well. Okay, and let's go over a few specs of this plane. Okay, as mentioned, it is a 1450mm wingspan plane, almost 1.5 meters. The length is just over a meter, 1014mm. Servos, 6 servos, 9-gram servos, one speed controller, a 40 amp speed controller, which seems to me like more than enough. It has a 650 kV motor, 3720. 650 kV might seem like a low number, but this is a 4S plane. It would ideally fly on a 2200 4S. So I'm really happy with that. I hope more planes, especially in this size, will become 4S planes. Why? Well, your voltage will of course be higher, leading to a lower amperage, ideally, given the same thrust. Okay, flying weight 1660 grams. It flies on a 13x6 APC kind of style propeller, and it has flaps and ailerons, 6-channel radio required. Alright, let's have a look what the parts look like. Alrighty, the first thing you find in the box is a fuselage, and it's all foam. This is a foamy. This fuselage actually takes me right back to the multiplex Funcub fuselage. It looks very much like it. It isn't a carbon copy, that's nice, and this kind of fuselage is also pretty similar to the Durafly Tundra, of course. Now, does that mean that this plane is some kind of a copy of those planes? Well, no, those planes are all copied from real life-size STOL planes as well. So they all look at the same kind of real world airplanes. As let's see, there the engine details and exhaust are already painted up in black, as you can see. That's a nice touch, and I hope it's visible, but the servos for the tail, so elevator and rudder, are already in place, and they are of course Dynam servos, 9-gram and plastic geared. Now, ordinarily, I might have changed those out for metal gears. I have used these servos in the past quite extensively though, and they work out pretty well. So I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm just gonna fly the plane completely stock for a change. Okay, and at the front over here you've got a battery hatch with a little retaining clip. There you go. Very small battery hatch. Yeah. I'm not completely happy with that. It's really too small. It should have been at least 2 centimeters wider, I think, so you can actually get your hands in there. You can add a little tape to your flight battery, so you can pull it out, I should say, with that tape. That'll surely help. But again, this battery hatch really is smallish. It is held in place securely though. That's a good thing. And let me zoom in to this part a little. Okay, from the prop adapter sticking out from the front, you can see that the motor is already in the plane, as is the speed controller. Can I give you a look at that? No, not really. You do see an air vent over here. And yeah, the speed controller is shoved in there. So yeah, you don't need to bother installing that. And at the bottom you've got a plastic mount for your landing gear. And there's another retainer with the plane for that landing gear. And you've got an air exit vent over here for to cool your ESC and your flight lipo. So very nice. And control links for the tail are already in place as well. Plastic clips, rudder, elevator. So yeah, the fuselage, as you can see, is all white. The plane does come with some decals to liven it up though. This plane comes with 2 wings, no less, no more. I just love it when the plane comes with 2 wings. Very nice. And as you can also see, the servos for the flaps and the ailerons are already in place. And the ailerons have themselves some glass fiber reinforcement over here. And that's nice. You don't need to do any gluing. This piece over here covering the cabling and such is already glued in place. However, there is it's not in place enough. I might pull it out and re-glue it, because there's an edge over here, and same with the other. Well, it's nice that it's the same on both wings, so your airflow resistance is the same on both wings, and it's not a high-speed plane. This is a STOL plane, a park flyer, a slower park flyer, so to speak. So this extra airflow resistance isn't much of a deal with planes like this. However, it's not like I'm a fan of it. Yeah, you could put some tape over it, run a length of tape over the edge. That'll smooth things out a little as well. Okay, let's see, the hinging is more or less the same as on the multiplex Funcub. For the flaps, the flaps, by the way, do not have glass fiber reinforcements. They are a bit shorter than the ailerons as well, so I'm okay with that. Now, this is interesting. This here is the wing joiner, a carbon tube, not carbon fiber, but carbon, and a plastic piece which actually slots into the wings. Can I show that? Let's see. It only slots in one way. This way it won't slot in, and the other way around it will slot in halfway into the wing, as you can see. And from the top you will feed a bolt through it, and there's actually wood, balsa wood I suspect, reinforcement to keep this plate in place. Quite an elaborate wing joiner this. Never seen this before, but it looks very good, and it fits in like a glove, very snugly. There's no play in it at all. Nice. Actually the entire wing root, this piece is over-engineered, I think, which is a good thing, of course. Very nice. That should not come apart at all. And yeah, actually far better than on most planes this. I'm not trying to sell you this plane or anything, but I'm glad to see this. Repeated taking on and off of the wings for transport, for instance, should not be a problem at all with this setup. Very nice. Yes. The plane also comes with a horizontal stabilizer, an elevator, a vertical stabilizer and a rudder. Both are reinforced in the middle with plastic pieces, which actually slot into each other. These round pegs at the bottom of the vertical stabilizer slot into these round holes in the horizontal stabilizer. And the horizontal stabilizer is reinforced with a carbon tube, which is already glued in. And the elevator itself is again reinforced with a glass fiber piece. And let's see, yeah, the horizontal stabilizer doesn't have its control horn installed already. I think it just didn't fit in the package like that. Of course, the plane does come with this control horn, and the control horn fits over or around this glass fiber strip, so it holds on to that very well, effectively making the control horn very wide, which should work out very well. I'll also mention this in my build video, but if you build a plane like this, before installing the control link, loosen up these joints, these foam hinges a little. Same goes for the rudder, of course. Alright, the main landing gear. Actually, let me bring in this wheel as well. This is the tail wheel. A foamy tire on it, and yeah, it actually feels a bit rubbery, the foam, which is good. It might actually last a while, so that's nice. The main landing gear wheels are huge. Have a look, by the way, at the product page. When I ordered this plane, I thought, those wheels look a little small, right? Again, have a look and tell me what you think. However, they are not small, they are just very wide. Much wider than on most planes. Much wider, almost twice as wide, well, I'm not sure. Wider than on the Multiplex Funcub, which makes them look small, which they are not. So yeah, nice wheels should give you a nice amount of traction. You might even be able to fly this plane on rougher grounds than you would with a Multiplex Funcub or a Tundra. The landing gear, metal, I think it's metal, not aluminium. There is a little bit of flex, but far less than on the Multiplex Funcub, far less. Now that's both a good and a bad thing. The Multiplex people designed their landing gear to have flex, so it would soak up the hits if you don't land them perfectly. On this plane, the not so perfect landings will be soaked up by the foam of the fuselage. Yeah. However, on the Multiplex Funcub, that landing gear didn't really work out. The legs would splay apart. Bleh. No, that I have higher hopes for this setup. Actually, on my Funcub, I replaced it with a main landing gear that looks familiar. Yeah, it looks a lot like this one. So yeah, this looks pretty nice. Some assembly hardware. Now I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this, on these parts, because they'll all show up in my build video. But let's see, yeah, there's some glue. in the kit, and I might actually use this glue this time. There are nylon bolts that hold on the wing when you actually get spares, 2 spares. That's very nice. So the idea is that if you crash, these nylon bolts snap off, preventing the wing from being torn apart. And that's what you really want. This is easy to replace. A wing that's shattered is a little harder to replace, of course. Okay, wing joiner, plastic wing joiner. This plate here is to fasten your landing gear, and this is the tail wheel assembly steering thing. Again, it'll show up in my build video. Okay, with this Dynam Primo you get 2 wire harnesses, Y leads, splitters. One is for the ailerons and one is for your flaps. I'm not sure if you need a reverser for the flaps, but again, we'll see in the build if this is sufficient for this plane. You get 2 propellers, 13 by 6 propellers, and they look mostly APC style, but they are not. On APC style of propellers, the wingtip veers up a little. This is almost a bullnose propeller. So yeah, I expect these propellers to be a little noisy but provide a good amount of power. And if you are not interested in the build video, all these kinds of propellers have a lettering and number at the front of the blades, telling you the dimensions and the pitch of the propeller. That's the front, so that should go to the front in the flight direction of your plane. Okay, you get this build assembly instructions sheet. Not much of a manual, I've seen better manuals, but at least it shows you the recommended throws for your elevator, ailerons and rudder. That's nice. How you connect things up, yeah, okay. You are informed of the CG, and that is basically all you need, because like I said, I will be publishing a build video or assembly video for this plane as well. That should get the job done for you. If you just follow along with my build steps, you're good to go. And it also comes with this sheet for the ESC, which is appreciated. Brake setting, low voltage, but yeah, okay, this is really mandatory. If a plane comes with an ESC, you want a sheet like this to come with it, so appreciate it. And the very last thing in the box, a decal sheet, as mentioned before. Some window sheets in black, and the rest is black and blue. You can apply those to your own liking, of course. I might put a completely different paint scheme on this plane. We'll see, and yeah, doesn't really matter, of course. But yeah, I like my planes to look a little more personalized. So, not that these decals look terrible, of course, subject to personal taste, but they look just fine. Okay, so that's what all the parts look like. Let's have a look what the plane looks like when it's finished. Okie dokie, so there is our finished, well, finished. As you can see, I haven't applied most of the decals yet, simply because I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I'm gonna just use the supplied decals or if I'm gonna do something else. On the pictures it actually looks pretty good. It has sort of a minimalistic paint scheme, which I do like, but well, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll add some wing tape in some different colors. Who knows? You'll see in my flight video, which will, weather permitting, come up pretty shortly, I hope. Let's see. Fitment. Everything fits together nicely. While screwing on the main wing and fiddling in all the wiring into the fuselage, Yeah, you kind of sometimes would like to have free hands. But well, the same thing happened to me on the multiplex Funcub. So yeah, everything basically fits together perfectly. I would have liked a little fuel tube retainers on the control horn clevises. That would have been a nice touch, I think. But maybe that's something for planes in a slightly higher price range. Have a look again at the product page. Most times I don't mention prices in my videos because they change all the time. So, but yeah, have a look. It's not an expensive plane, especially for its size. It's far less expensive than a multiplex Funcub, I think. And I don't think it's a lesser plane, not at all. I'm not sure what the Tundra, the Duraflight Tundra at this moment costs. When I got it, it was around 200 euros, I think. That's a very nice plane as well. One of the nice things of that plane is that you don't have to apply stickers or decals. I do not like applying decals. And it looks a little more sturdy. It has a wider fuselage. Makes it look more tough, I think, or at least it looks wider. I'm not even sure it is a wider fuselage on the Tundra. Yeah, if you'd see those two planes side by side, they would look very similar, but the Tundra looks a little sturdier. That doesn't reflect on how well this plane is built at all. This plane fits together well. It feels very sturdy. You can easily pick it up by the wing, no problem at all. So that's my initial view on this Dynam plane. This is my second Dynam plane, I think. And yeah, I'm anxious to see how it flies, of course. These kinds of planes generally fly very easily, so we'll just see. Will be coming up shortly. For now, thank you very much for watching and hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye!